All right, look, I just got done. I'm about ready to edit this video and I saw that there's a tear in my green screen. Can you ignore it? Or if you're gonna leave a comment about it, at least hit the like button before you do it. I mean, help a brother out, or even hit the subscribe button. Anyway, let's get into the video. So I just got done doing my live stream that I do every Saturday morning. That's why I'm here right now, because I literally went from doing my live stream to doing this video, because in the live stream, people kept asking me what iPhone I bought and what they should do depending on which phone they had. So I figured I would tell you why I didn't buy the iPhone 13, 13 mini, or 13 Pro at all. It just wasn't even on my list, and maybe what you should do depending on what you are looking to buy. That seemed to be the question that people kept asking over and over and over again. Which one should I get, the 13 or the 13 Pro? There's not a lot of differences this year as there were last year, but there's a couple that you might be interested in. And then there's one subject that kept coming up in chat that should be completely irrelevant to you. And I want to make sure to tell you all about that. And I will. Right after this.
This is, you know you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. And today we're going to talk about why I didn't buy the iPhone 13 or 13 Pro, maybe what you should buy, and that one thing that everyone seems to be obsessed about that really is, you know, pretty irrelevant. So we're going to start by going to the Apple website. I'm just going to go through a couple of the things that they show there. Now you can do this as well. Pulling up the Apple website will show you the exact same things I'm going to show you here. I'm not going to do any fancy B-roll, because the point of this video is to kind of dive into why I chose the phone I did and maybe why you should choose the phone that you will. And we're going to kind of go through the marketing speak and dissect what is real and what you're going to see when you purchase potentially your new iPhone. Now, as I said, one of the biggest questions I got on the live stream was, should I get the iPhone 13 or 13 Pro? And you'll notice as you come to Apple's website, the first thing they show you is the Pro. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. The easiest thing to explain is the most expensive of the lineup, or at least the Pro Max is. So of course they're gonna front load you with that. Now it probably won't be the #1 selling phone over time, because the value really is with the 13 series rather than the 13 Pro series. But they do want to front load it with all the coolest things. So let's go through their website and see exactly how they're marketing this to you. And I'll tell you why I only got the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the other ones weren't even on my list. So like I said, when you come to the Apple website, the first thing you see is the iPhone 13 Pro and not the iPhone 13. So we're going to go there as if we're kind of interested in this new iPhone we've heard about and see what they tell us. Now, for me, I always get the Pro series of iPhones. I can't not get it. And more specifically, I always get the Max version, mainly because I like the bigger screen. I like big screen phones, I always have, and the battery life, which this year looks to be tremendous. And for me, I always get the largest screen phone I can. This goes back to my Galaxy Note 2 days, back when the Galaxy Note was almost laughed at. I think that was a 5.5-inch screen, which now seems incredibly small, but back then was massive. So for me, anything that's bigger, big screen wise, is the one I'm always gonna go for. That's why I got the Fold 3. That's why I'm getting the iPhone Pro Max, and I'll always get the Max version. But of course, for me also, the #1 thing I need out of a phone is battery life, and the 13 Pro Max is gonna give it to me. But it doesn't matter if you get the Pro, Pro Max, or the 13, they're all gonna give you better battery life. Let's take a look. So as we can see here, the Oh So Pro, getting you all sexified with the blue color. I love blue. Listen, I love blue. I'm not gonna lie. I love blue. Now let's look at some of the ways that they market to people. A dramatically more powerful camera system. Well, yes and no. So obviously they have some new features, some of which are software driven, and using that A15 processor, it's gonna do that for you. But what's interesting is it says dramatically more. And what they're probably talking about most specifically is that new mode, the cinematic mode, which is drama. The rest of the actual camera system itself, I mean, of course it does have macro. Is it dramatically more powerful? We'll see when we get some reviews out coming up in the next couple of days. As a matter of fact, a lot of the larger tech channels have their iPhones right now and will be releasing their reviews here in a couple of days. A display so responsive that every interaction feels new again. Now that's the 120 Hertz display they're talking about, and you notice this is on the Pro series only. It's not on the 13. So if it's something you want to experience, you definitely need to get the Pro series of smartphone, which I knew I was going to do right off the top. Like there was never a fight. All of you want to know if the iPhone 13 120 Hertz is good, so I have to get that, if for no other reason to let you guys and girls know. And the world's fastest smartphone chip. We already know this to be true, the A15, it totally is. Okay, cool. Exceptional durability and a huge leap in battery life. Now the durability thing, I don't care, I put a case on mine, but the battery life, let's go, let's Pro. So we're coming down to the size, the 6.1 inch and 6.7. Now the 6.1 inch display is fine for most people. And to be honest, it probably would be okay with me. I did reviews on the iPhone XR and the 11 back in the day, and I actually kind of enjoyed the phone. But again, I need larger screen devices with better battery life. And no matter which one I went with, I knew that I was going to get better battery life, and I knew that the features are exactly the same this year. Unlike last year, they're exactly the same, except the size and battery life. Now we see all these sexy colors, which you can only get on the Pro series, and I like the baby blue. I don't care if they call it Sierra blue, I call it baby blue. But the clutch one might actually be the silver, which looks like almost, I want to call it like vanilla ice cream color, you know, not quite white, but kind of off color. And you can always go with the graphite, but to be honest, these aren't black enough for me. I need a matte black iPhone. Like, have you seen the Galaxy S21 phones this year? Holy crap on a stick. That is a black that you want to have. And then there's gold. We'll keep moving. Now we're back to the ceramic shield rather than something like Gorilla Glass, which you'll see on other phones. I'm never going to test this theory. It is not worth it for me to figure out if this screen is not going to scratch or break this year. I always get a screen protector, always. And some people think that that's kind of a waste, but with some of the tempered glass screen protectors nowadays, it feels the same. They have less smudges because they clean off really easily, and you don't have to worry about cracking your glass. I see so many people with iPhones with cracked front screens. It just kills me to see that, and I want nothing to do with that. I'm not going to an Apple store waiting in line for them to replace my front screen. No thank you. I'll spend the $10 on a smartphone that won't break because I put a little $10 screen protector on the front. Water resistance. Now this year I may actually test this. I always get nervous about testing this, but Apple's really going to be, they're going to be on top of this to make sure that they have made sure that this thing can be used underwater. I've always wanted to do this. I've just been too worried to dunk my iPhone, even though it's water resistant, into a glass of water, but I might do it this year. You might see me do it this year. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you want me to do it. Here we go. The upgraded Pro camera system gets their biggest upgrade with next level hardware. And I know that year over year, that third lens from Pro to regular can be the difference between some great photos and some decent photos. And that's actually one of the reasons why I went with the Pro series of phones rather than the Mini or the iPhone 13. And with more light being let in, hopefully some of these images that are taken inside, I'm not even worried about outside at night, but inside in mixed lighting conditions will look better. Because with more light in, the AI that they're using to actually kind of do deep fusion should be even better. Now, AI can do a lot of things, but the more light you have in the image in the first place, the better it's going to be and the better the images will look. So they're going to definitely talk about the biggest upgrade ever, which is, I guess, true. The software is incredible, and their fast chip, which actually does the processing for this, it is going to be amazing. Now, having said that, some of these features, obviously not the camera lens itself, will be backwards compatible with older iPhones. This happens every single year, where some of the improvements of the new iPhone are backshifted to older smartphones. This actually happens with Samsung as well, so don't feel like you're going to be missing out on everything. Some of these features will be backwards compatible. Of course, your lens won't let any more light in because that's hardware. Now, I actually didn't buy the iPhone Pro Max for the macro feature, but I am going to test it out and show you guys and gals when I do my review. It's interesting and it's cool. I just don't see myself using this feature very often. The one thing where it might come in slightly handy is when I do have to take a picture of like different things close up on occasion. Like there's sometimes a label or something I need to read and I can't quite read it, so I use my phone to do that, and it's always blurry. I never can get the text right. This might actually help with that. Again, this is the low light feature I was talking about earlier. I'm not really worried about night shot outside. I'm talking about mixed light inside. Those photos always tended to be kind of grainy and ugly, so I'm hoping that this fixes that. Now, there's definitely more zoom on this phone now with a 3x optical zoom, but that's really not enough. To be honest, we have smartphones out there with 5 and 10 times optical zoom. To me, that's a lot more interesting, a lot more compelling. This 3x is just, to me, it's not even standard. It's not even minimal. So again, I didn't buy the phone for this reason, for sure. And now with this shallow depth of field, the cinematic video, I'm gonna play around with this for a while. I think it's pretty amazing. You're gonna be able to get some really cool footage out of it. I don't know how often I'm gonna use this after the review as far as the feature itself, but it's damn cool they put this into the phone. I'm actually still super impressed by this. It might be one of the most impressive things. Now, here's the feature everyone was asking me about in the live stream that I wanna tell you is something you should not be buying this smartphone for. Don't care about, trust me, you do not care about ProRes. If you shoot in ProRes, the only thing you need to be using this for is production quality work, and probably you're not using a phone to do it with. ProRes is a software wrapper around the video that actually takes high quality video and then allows you to edit it later, usually in a professional level video software, something like Final Cut. You're not probably doing that. Let's be honest. If you're watching this video, you're probably not doing that. Plus, if you try to shoot it in 4K, you need the 256 gig model or higher because the amount of storage it takes to shoot it, it's not worth your time. Do yourself a favor. Do not buy an iPhone because it shoots in ProRes. This is so irrelevant for you, I can't even say it enough. You are not going to use this feature. A couple of YouTubers will use it once or twice, think it's cool, and then probably forget about it later. Some production people will probably use it once or twice, think it's cool, and then go back to their red cameras. It's cool, don't get me wrong. Do not buy this for this. And as you can see, about 2/3 of this page is about the camera. Yeah, the camera's gonna be great, but that's almost the only thing you can talk about anymore when it comes to smartphones, which is kind of sad and a little bit boring. But that's what it comes down to, the camera. Yeah, the camera's better, I get it. The camera's gonna be better, I hope so. I'm paying extra money for it. So none of this is something that I bought the Pro over anything else for. It's this one thing, not promotion, even though I'm excited about promotion. It's one thing. This is it, the best battery life ever, because it doesn't matter what type of feature you have on your phone. If your battery's dead, it's irrelevant. And I can't wait to test this out. Up to 2.5 more hours in the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'm kind of blown away. I'm trying to understand how they've done this. Now, obviously, the more efficient processor and a bigger battery are going to help. They've always been really good on battery life as far as the bigger Pro and Pro Max versions of phones have been. But this might be the game-changingest thing ever. All the other stuff is nice and cool, but to be able to do all these new features and get more battery life out of it is amazing. And they might even actually be underselling this a little bit. You got to see this. Yet another reason why I picked the Pro Max over the Pro even is the battery life. And as we can see here, video playback at 28 hours over the 22 hours of the Pro, 25 hours video playback streamed, and up to 95 hours audio playback. Now, that's just video only, streaming, not doing anything else, which means you potentially could get even more of mixed usage when you're not using it straight for 28 hours straight. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. This excites me. This means this could be a easy two-day phone. And I've done that with the 11 Pro Max. It was a 2-day phone for me. Back then, I wonder if I can get 2.5, 3 days out of this. I'm super excited to test this theory because this is the thing that I got a lot of pushback on when I did the 11 Pro Max. That the battery life couldn't have been as good as I said it was, but it was. I was charging it every other day. It just was. That was what happened. With this, maybe every third day. So when you compare all these features to the iPhone 13, which is great, and it's especially for the value for money, it's all the same stuff, but less. And I just need more. Plus, you guys and gals want to hear more about the top end iPhone. I mean, you definitely want to know about this as well. But I'm not going to buy every single iPhone that there is available. I'm just not going to do it. There's other channels going to do it, and I ain't got the money for it. If you want to send me some money, I'll buy the iPhone 13. I'll tell you what I think about it. But I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to do it. If I did, though, I'll be buying it in this blue finish. I'm sorry. That's just what's happening. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe red. And that product red is legit. And hell will freeze over before I ever get an iPhone mini. This might be the last one they ever do, but a 5.4-inch display. Listen, I held this thing in an Apple store a couple months ago, and I about fell out laughing. I about fainted in the store because it was so funny how small it was. Comically small, no thanks. Anyway, I didn't need to get the iPhone 13 because it didn't have enough features that I wanted to be able to cover for this channel. The battery life, while improved, will not be as good as the Pro Max, and I just need a bigger screen altogether. So I bought the iPhone 13 Pro Max. What should you get? Well, the question remains, how much is your budget? Because now they have a bunch of options. You literally have phones from the iPhone 13 Pro series all the way down to the SE and the 11 series of iPhones. The iPhone 11 now may be one of the better priced phones on the entire thing. I mean, 64 gigs, okay, but you're looking at a really inexpensive phone that's super powerful and just a couple of years ago was an absolute beast. That your cost is $500. For what is an amazing smartphone. Now, if you want an actual OLED display, which I guess at this point you would, you gotta go for the iPhone 12. iPhone 12, with all the beautiful colors and all the cool stuff, just a year old. just a year old. Again, flagship level. You can get that for $700 for the regular or $600 for the mini. Darn good deals. But I'll be honest, if you're in the market and you're looking at the iPhone 12 at $700, I would just say save yourself another $100, save it up, don't go to Starbucks as much, whatever, and get the 13. It's just gonna be better all around than the 12, better battery life, better everything, and it's only $100 more. And while $100 is definitely a lot of money, when you spread that out over a year or 2 years, it's not that bad. Just don't go to McDonald's this month. So that's why I got the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments below which one did you get, and watch some of these videos. I got some great things. I just released a video earlier today. Make sure you check that out. Why the iPhone 13 might not be for you. I'll see you next time. Peace and love.